You're listening to Snippets from the Summit with your host, Scott McKay.
Oh, how's it going, gentlemen? Welcome to yet another episode of the world-famous Mountaintop Podcast, this one in the form of yet another Snippet from the Summit. First of all, this particular episode is dropping on December 31st of 2024, so Happy New Year to all you guys who are listening. Can you believe the 21st century is already a quarter of the way over? Well, with that in mind, I want to talk today not about New Year's resolutions, but instead what you're going to do for the whole rest of your life. You know, the next 3 quarters of the 21st century and beyond for some of you guys. You know, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe we'll halt the aging process and live forever. And forever's a long time. You're going to have to be ready for it. Well, as you guys know, I've talked for years and years and years about a concept that I thought I was pretty smart to come up with called AMPAR, which talks about ambition being fueled by motivation and passion. Essentially, the 3 elements of what I've always talked about are if you can find something you love and that you're good at and it pays the bills, well then, hey, you've pretty much found at least what your purpose is for now in this life. You know, I've talked before as well about how your purpose can actually be fulfilled and you move on to another one while you're still drawing breath in this life, right? In other words, your life purpose isn't something that kind of drags on your entire life and then hopefully on your deathbed someday you look back and smile and say, well, you know what? I accomplished it. I do believe that your life purpose can be something, at least for now, that has the ability to be accomplished. Then you move on to the next one and then the next one. So there can be multiple life purposes. I also believe that you can have simultaneous life purposes. You can be doing more than one big thing right now, or a couple big things and a couple small things, all of them which bring fulfillment to your life. Well, along come the Japanese, and guess what? They've done one better than I have here, which I'm going to offer some respect to today and also explain to you because I think they're onto something here. The concept we're going to cover here is called Ikigai, which on the surface to the English-speaking sensibility sounds like a gross dude, but the word is actually spelled I-K-I-G-A-I, pronounced Ikigai, and the Oxford English Dictionary defines Ikigai as, and I quote, a motivating force, something or someone that gives a person a sense of purpose and a reason for living. And more generally, it may refer to something that brings pleasure or fulfillment. Now, with that English definition out of the way, the actual translation of the Japanese word ikigai is basically 2 words, iki, meaning life, and gai, worth or reason. So literally in Japanese, we're talking about your reason for living, your life worth here. Ikigai, to the Japanese, is separated into 4 primary elements, and 3 of the 4, like I said, will sound familiar if you've read my work in the past. What you love, your passion, right? What you're good at, your vocation, and what pays the bills, what you can get paid for, your profession. Now, those 3 concepts indeed form a pretty solid 3-legged stool, don't they? But to make it an even more stable table with 4 legs, the other element the Japanese have added in is what the world needs. In other words, your mission. What makes the world a better place? So, Ikigai involves you figuring out, or maybe even stumbling across something you just love. You just can't get enough of it. And it could be anything you're passionate about. And you combine that, secondly, with what you are good at. You have aptitude for it. You have talents in that area. And of course, does it pay the bills, or is this something that's not marketable at all? But it's that 4th element that I would agree with the Japanese brings an extra dimension of fulfillment, of true satisfaction with what you're doing in this life. And that's the concept of, is this making the world a better place? Is the world that much better because I'm doing this particular thing? Gentlemen, you can use Ikigai not for a temporary quick fix New Year's resolution that'll probably be broken by the middle of January, but rather to really sort out and get real clarity on what you're doing in this life. Guys, I talk to too many of you who are bored, you're broke, you're not excited about anything, and really You're waking up today doing the same exact thing you did yesterday, and you weren't excited yesterday, and you're not excited today. Even though the concept of Ikigai comes from the other side of the world, if you live in North America, take it to heart because there's something to this. What do you love? What are you good at? Can you get paid for it? And is it making the world a better place? If you ask yourself those 4 questions, if you explore what you're doing in this life around those 4 elements, you are for sure going to find something that makes your life better because the endeavor is yours, you own it, and you feel like you're born to do it. Here are 3 quick thoughts before we close this episode. First of all, you can find something you love and that you're good at, and you can do it as a pastime even if it doesn't pay the bills, but you're going to have something else that pays the bills for you because without that last element, basically you've got a hobby instead of a profession. The second one is if you can find a passion and you have an ability, a talent, or an aptitude that really illuminates that particular passion in a way that most other people can't match, then you found lightning in a bottle. For example, let's say you love basketball, but you're not really a very good basketball player, but you are incredible at public speaking and you're very knowledgeable about basketball and can describe it as it's happening. Well, according to Ikigai, your passion and your mission may turn into a vocation of being a play-by-play announcer for basketball, if not a player. So you've taken a unique talent, combined it with a passion in a way most other people can't, and voila, there you have your Ikigai purpose, right? So always think creatively in terms of what you love and what you're good at surrounding that passion and how you might be able to get paid for it. Because the more unique your talent is, vis-a-vis the need for that talent to be expressed in this life, the greater the likelihood you're going to get paid and get paid a lot for it, right? The third and last point I want to make is, gentlemen, once you're secure in your values, your passions, and then your purpose, you actually release jealousy over the purpose and accomplishment of others. You'll feel less schadenfreude towards people you've been jealous of in the past because they do them and you do you, and you're happy with what you're doing. You're thrilled to be making the world a better place doing it, and you can relax and have peace finally with your purpose. Once again, Happy New Year to you guys all over the world, and I appreciate every one of you who listens to this podcast and has for, 18 years now. And if you want to talk about this or anything else, as always, I'm Scott at mountaintoppodcast.com. Be good out there.
As always, visit mountaintoppodcast.com for more.